All right, let's begin. Before we begin giving you what we have on the newspaper this morning, we have a guest in the house who's going to be helping us with the analysis of the various papers we have this morning. And I'm talking about Chief Mike Udumodu, a public affairs commentator. Chief Mike, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's kickstart with stories making the headlines on our ABS website.
Anambra Assembly Speaker Mada will caution youths against thuggery. Egyptian court jails TV presenter for interviewing gay man. IMF cuts world economic growth forecast. WhatsApp moves to check spread of fake information. President Buhari to commission Zig Mausoleum on Thursday this week. Chief, you've seen the stories making the headline on ABS website, and I think we should start with the very first story. Anambra Assembly Speaker Mada will cautioning youth against thuggery during election, of course.
Yeah, I think it's a move in the right direction, because the elections now, the youth are seeing it as where they want to make all the money by way of fighting and doing all this odd job, all the thuggery, which is not supposed to be so. So I commend the speaker for telling the youth beforehand not to indulge in such a practice, so that the election will be, people should go and cast their vote, and wait for the result. The result will eventually come. It's not when you do thuggery, either somebody is injured or killed or these are, you create problems here and there for yourself. And the people, the president or the National Assembly members will be there, enjoying their money. And if somebody has died, he has died. The family will be suffering and all that. So it's a good,
right step in the right direction.
It's right step in the right direction. I commend that.
All right. Let's move on to the next story. The Egyptian
court jailing TV presenter for interviewing a gay man.
It's quite amazing.
In Egypt, some of these Muslim countries, they behave the way they behave. So they have their different laws and so on. So anytime they want to do something, they do it, and to them it might not matter. So they have done it. They have done it. So, but that is not the best,
But I don't think it's the right thing to do. He just interviewed the person.
I don't
it's
know.
Not as if
maybe
they are practicing it. They just interview the person anyway.
No,
I don't know the law in the land anyway.
To interview what they are saying is that they don't want to hear that anything like gay is existing in Egypt.
So even if you're existing, don't come to
don't come to expose it.
Just hide it
Yes,
there.
because that is Sharia law. They applied Sharia law to do that.
All right, let's move on to the next story. IMF cuts world economic growth forecast.
Yeah, IMF, they have all the analysis. They have all the data about growth. So when you are looking at growth, world economic growth, IMF has the capacity to analyze and say, this is the way it's going to move. Like these Asian tigers, sometime in the past, their economies were growing at 7% GDP per annum. And they will tell you that Indonesia will move with that rate, Singapore will move with that rate, Philippines will move with that rate. So they predict it. But coming like in our own side here, like Nigeria, they will tell you should be 0.09%, or at the time it could be a minus. So the World Bank has the capacity.
All right, let's move on. There are stories making the rounds about WhatsApp. Carrying the owner of WhatsApp is trying to minimize the way fake news are being spread on the social media. And of course, he's saying that before now, you can actually forward a particular message for over 15 times or 20 times. But right now, they've reduced it because it looks as if a whole lot of fake reports come through that avenue.
Yes, whatever they do, they have the reasons for doing that. But in the social media now, if you are limiting it you are limiting it for reasons best known to you or known to WhatsApp group. Because fake news is always there. Okay. Even if it is one news, you allow one to fly.
They're just saying that they don't want you to spread wide again or go viral.
Okay, so that people should be limited to, which means they are having issues, handling the WhatsApp issues. I think there is an issue, because if there is no issue, WhatsApp can go, they can take as many informations as possible, and it will still go.
Well,
who knows which one is fake?
The major issue here is the fake news now.
No, the issue
is trying to cover it.
Yes. The question is who knows which one is the fake news and who knows which one is
all right. Let's move on to the very first paper.
So they decided to do
that.
Finally,
before we do that, President Buhari to commission Zik Mausoleum on Thursday this week. You know about that one?
Yes, Yes, I've heard it.
Good move.
It's a good move. When somebody is in power, he has the right to do whatever he wishes. I wouldn't say that commissioning it now is not the right time or the right thing to do. If he wants to do that, let him do. But it's long overdue.
All right, let's move over to the very first paper, Daily Times. Banner headline, Federal Government PDP in verbal war over alleged plan to truncate polls. Opposition politicians orchestrating widespread violence to stop elections. Federal Government alleges PDP allegation absolute falsehood, not to be taken seriously. And up there we can see Onoge's trial. A court declines order restricting CCT as another FHC orders maintenance of status quo. Industrial Court reaffirms earlier order stopping trial as NBA asks federal government to discontinue trial. February poll, I'll adopt sound security economic programs if re-elected. This one is coming from the President, Buhari. Federal government ends estimated electricity billing as Fashola okays 108 firms to supply of prepaid meters. Internet users hit 111.6 million in December, says NCC. Dangote feeds 30,000 IDPs in Zamfara State. All right, we are in the political era, and I think we should start with the major headline there. Federal government and PDP in verbal war over alleged plan to truncate the election. And federal government are accusing PDP, while PDP say it's just a mere accusation.
That is politics. Whether federal government is accusing PDP accusing them, is just politics. It should be so. That is the way they will be doing it until the die is cast. Until February 16th, when the votes are cast for the presidency, that one, at least it will start to reduce. But as far as government is in power and you have a strong opposition all over the world, there will be verbal wars and criticisms and all this and all that. Even though in some of the things they say, some of them are real, some of them might not be real, false, but it might be false. But what is important is that this kind of thing must exist in any political environment.
So we should always expect it.
Yes, we should always expect it.
All right, down there we can see Buhari saying that if he's been re-elected as the president of this nation, he will adopt sound security and economic programs.
Yes. It's a good one, from the president. That I think it is one of the things he has said for a very long time. That is, that is just okay, because he said if re-elected, he's not claiming the mandate that he should be there, and he said if he is re-elected, which is okay, he will provide security and this and that. He has said so.
How much of that have we seen in this present administration?
Yes, because what we are doing in any election is, you look at what has happened in the past for somebody who has been in the government. So you look at his credentials, you look at his past records. So if he's talking, you will know that what he's saying he can do. So if he says it, it's okay. It is the 16th February vote that will decide if if he's going to be re-elected or
All right,
not.
before we move over to the next paper, let's say the federal government ends estimated electricity billing as Fashola okays 108 firms to supply prepaid meters. You know the issue we've been having with estimated billing in Nigeria, and now they are planning to end it.
Yeah. It's okay. If Fashola can end it now, it's okay, but I'm afraid that it is not that possible to do it. He can say it, but if we have not done it over these years, and he wants to do it, maybe within this, possibly within the year, he can start from somewhere, and starting from somewhere, we can get to somewhere, actually.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next papers. The Punch newspapers this morning. Stories making the headlines. Tinubu, Oshiomhole, Amechi hits Obasanjo for attacking Buhari. Stampede at Borno APC rally, dozens injured. Buhari is sick in the spirit, body, and soul. Obasanjo. On top of that story, IMF quotes Nigeria's 2019 growth forecast to 2%. Deceiving Nigerians using religion, ethnicity is bloody nonsense. That's coming from Buhari. Appeal Court declines an against plea to suspend CCT trials. Ex-Super Eagles player Efisoje brothers jailed for fraud in UK. Affair Babalola advocates unified exams for final year varsity students. Residents accuse drunken corp of killing football fan. Politicians plotting to use food vendors for votes buying. INEC. Lagos sporter stabs colleague to death. Acting IG decentralizes SAS. Court concludes Ladoja's 11-year trial, reserves judgment. Obanikoro confronts Fayose in court. Well, stories making the headlines. Let's look at the appeal court declines an against a plea to suspend CCC trial.
Okay,
A whole lot has been going as regards
a whole lot has been going on, and the CCC trial, you know, I am looking at it that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the trial that they're talking about the declaration of non-declaration of assets. So I don't know why it is coming up this time, and the government is making song and dance about that. So the trial in the first place is something I don't know why it should be coming up, because we have in every organization, every ministry, they have the ways of trying them. If anybody commits an offense, like if it's in the bank, you have a body where you go for disciplinary committee. It is the disciplinary committee that will look into it and say, you have done this and done that.
Boy, as a Chief Justice of Nigeria, do you think that disciplinary committee can actually try him?
Yes, because they have the National Judicial Commission. I think they have a body like that. And they have some other bodies that can, when you do this, it is there. When this person does this thing, this body will look at it. Because they have been looking at other judges and the lawyers' cases, they can still do that. It's not something the whole country will be talking about. I think it's diversionary to a large extent.
All right, let's move on to the next papers. The Nation newspaper stories making the headlines.
Oshiomhole Tinubu attack Obasanjo. Ex-president gets knocked for anti-Buhari statement. PDP stop insulting former leader. And up there we have, as the government agree on 7 points to end strike. Obanikoro Fayose got $5 million from Dasuki. IMF quotes global forecast to 3.5%. Internet users hit 111.6 million. Jenko's shortfall exceeds 1 trillion. Wilder denies Joshua offer. Okay, opposition plots to truncate polls. Well, let's look at this story. People attacking Obasanjo, Oshibajo and Oshiomhole, and Tinubu also, they are attacking Obasanjo. Then PDP instead saying, you should not attack the former president because he probably said something about Buhari.
Yes. That is the level of our democracy. That's why when Obasanjo talks, these other people will start to attack him. But I don't think that Obasanjo has done something wrong to say this is the way things are going, because Obasanjo has been there before, and for a whole 8 years, even before the 8 years, he has been the head of state under the military. So for him to say, let us move this way or don't do it this way, it doesn't call for all these criticisms.
You know, but I think he said too much, because in the previous paper he said that Buhari is sick in soul, spirit, and body. Maybe because of that.
And because
statement.
the attack, has started for some time now. It's not something that started this week. They have done it since last year. Obasanjo has been talking and saying this one will happen. Don't do this. And everybody is crying in the country that things are not moving the way it should move. So Obasanjo is saying, even this one is saying, the election is likely going to be rigged. This is the way he's going. He's likening him to Abacha, that he wants to behave like Abacha is doing this, he's doing that and that. So.
But has any government ever come on board and Obasanjo has not criticized that government?
Except his own government.
Look at the situation. If you are in as a leader, maybe president, you won't be seeing all the errors. You won't be seeing the errors even in the first place. But even when people are telling you, you will not accept it. Except when you are out and you are looking at it, watching from outside. That is when you will know that this person is not getting it, or this one is not moving the way it should move. It's just like football. Most of us watch football and we stay outside and tell you that this player has made a mistake. Why the player inside the field doesn't know that what he has done is not the mistake? So you see better from outside.
Next paper, let's see this one. ASU and government agree on 7 points to end strike.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time. It's like they are taking education for granted in Nigeria. So it's not so. And reaching 7 points agenda to end strike. Even if they end it now, I know that within the next 1 year, another strike will come up, because it has been there over the past years with all the previous governments. So I think they should fashion out a way of harmonizing this our education system so that it will flow. Like in our countries, the developed world, you don't talk of a strike has taken up to 1 year, taken up to 6 months. If you have a program that you are ending in September, you are graduating in September, by September you are out of school, you graduated. Even if there is any issue, they know how to handle it internally. Because these things are there, the rules are there, but the government will not meet up with the rules. They wouldn't want to adhere to it. ASU, on the other hand, might be making some demands that might be outrageous. So I wouldn't know. So
all right, let's move on to the final paper.
Everybody is guilty.
Yeah, the Guardian newspaper stories making the headlines on the Guardian. Government, PDP, CUPP squabble over alleged mayhem plot. Article lists 30 corrupt persons around Buhari. IGP decentralizes FSARS, reverses recent postings by Idris. INEC uncovers alleged new votes buying plans. Onogen urges appeal court to stop his trial. Well, these are actually the big stories making the headlines. Government, PDP, CUPP squabble over alleged mayhem plot. Article lists 30 corrupt persons around Buhari.
It's still politics.
It's still politics. 30, if it's only 30, there are only 30 corrupt people around Buhari. It means that the corrupt people around him are not many.
Oh, but I don't really have a problem, okay?
But I know that they are in their hundreds. You won't be talking of 30 corrupt people. You have the hundreds, because if we have had time to talk about some of these things, you see that over the years we have been doing budget in Nigeria, running into billions, trillions, and all that. We're in trillions now in Nigeria. And where is this money? After doing all this budget, you don't see any development. The roads are not put in order. No structures are put in place. So where is this money? Which means people are terribly corrupt. So.
Oh well, there are a lot of other stories. Onagan is also appealing to appeal courts to stop his trial.
Of course, we have talked about that. For the trial now, the election is coming up in less than 1 month. So if he leaves office now, maybe somebody will be brought in, and that person will maybe, if the election has to go to Supreme Court, to the Apex Court, it means that we are having issues.
Yeah.
We will certainly have issues. So allow these things to settle. While the man is being investigated, let him stay there, and after the election,
we can talk about
we can talk about that.
All right, talking about that election, INEC uncovers alleged new vote buying plans.
I don't think INEC, well, that is what they said. But whether it is new vote buying plans or the old order, what is important is that vote buying is not acceptable. Vote buying is so dangerous. It's not democratic.
And it's not advisable.
It's not advisable. So whether it is new one or not new one, INEC wouldn't even talk about new one or so. So they should advise people not to go for vote buying. Go there and vote for your vote according to your conscience,
and go home and wait for the results.
And wait for the result.
That's the much we have for you on newspaper headlines this morning. Well, if you want more of the stories, you can go out and pick the papers and, of course, read up for yourself. I want to say a very big thank you to Chief Mike Odumodu, a public affairs commentator. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will be going for a short break. Good morning, Anambra continues. Don't go anywhere.